Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from in the world today. Welcome to My Brand TV. My name is Leela Singh. I am a career growth and visibility coach, and I work with career professionals typically in the technology industry who are looking to get promoted to maximize your potential and ultimately to advance your career by getting clear on who you are, what you want to be known for, and where you want to go, and by showing up as the best version of yourself through building a powerful personal brand. And I'd like to welcome each and every one of you who's watching here live or on the replay. If you're watching live, then do please say hello in the comments and let me know where you are watching from today. And if you're watching on replay, then hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know where you're also watching from. And of course, please do ask any questions that you have. Before I kick off with today's content, first of all, I'd like to remind you, if you haven't already grabbed your copy of your personal brand playbook, then do go ahead and click on the link in the comments that will appear shortly, and you can grab your copy from there. The playbook is essentially a book that outlines the 6 facets of personal branding that I believe are imperative to building a strong personal brand and elevating your career in the workplace. It has a self-assessment. It talks about different aspects of your personal brand that are important to master. And it has some best practices and takeaways that you can go away and implement immediately. So do grab your copy of that. My VA, Sharon, who I know is watching on the live, will pop that link in the comments for you. And also, if you've been following me on social media this week, you will have noticed I have been promoting that my YouTube channel has gone live. So again, I would invite you to please head over after this live and check it out, and please subscribe to the channel. It contains all of my podcasts that I've delivered over the last 12 months in video format. You also get Personal Branding 101, which is a short series of videos. There are some excerpts from some of these lives with key takeaways that you can go and listen to, some short, like 2 or 3 minute sound bites, as well as the complete shows if you want to go back and watch any of the episodes, and also additional video footage that will be useful for you when it comes to elevating your career. So again, I do invite you to subscribe to the channel, and you'll get updated as new content is uploaded there and published for you. Okay, so first of all, let me kick off with what is personal branding. Personal branding is, in my view, it's your human potential. It's the way that you show up. So it's others' perceptions of you, and it's your reputation amongst your peers, your colleagues, and even in your industry. And it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. But most importantly for me, I believe it's the feeling that you experience when people meet you, they work with you, and when they hear your name mentioned, because those feelings create lasting perceptions. And why is this important? It's important because it's critical to understanding who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to be known for, both personally and professionally. And it's integral to all stages of your career. And I often get asked this question, well, does my personal brand matter if I'm much more advanced in my career? Absolutely, yes, it does. So whether you are starting out, whether you're established, whether you're seeking to pivot your career and change something to something completely new, maybe you're wanting to accelerate your career, enhance your visibility, to be a more effective leader, simply create an industry profile. Whatever it is for you, it is imperative that you are able to stand out. And Wilma, hello there. Lovely to have you on today. Thank you for hopping by. And as I said, do ask any questions on any of the content that I'm sharing today about elevating your career and your personal brand. So, taking back control. How do you influence your experiences? I believe this is an inside out approach. So I wanted to share this with you today. Over the last 18 months, we've all been feeling perhaps somewhat out of control a little bit, because there's no longer the certainty that we've had in our life due to the unprecedented or the unexpected arrival of the global pandemic early last year. And there are many factors that remain outside of your control. So not only the pandemic, you have the economy, the weather, politics, Brexit, maybe your employer and people that you work with in your team, your manager, your partner, your family. They're people who you have little or no control over, and that is okay. But remember, that list is endless. So the question to ask yourself then is, what do I have control over? What can I influence in my life so that I have a better experience, better outcomes, better results, and I'm far more fulfilled, more happier? And here's the thing, it's far easier to blame circumstances that are outside of our control, and the situations that we find ourselves in, we can put them down to, oh, well, it's down to Brexit, or it's down to the pandemic, it's because the weather was really bad today, rather than taking responsibility for what is in our control, what is under our influence. And that is what I want to share with you today. So 2 weeks ago, I delivered part 1 of this framework, all about awareness. So we talked about, how do you choose to respond to any given situation, and who do you choose to be? And we explored the importance of taking responsibility for your own situation. So we spoke about developing self-awareness, about the importance of journaling and how that can have a great impact on building up that self-awareness, as well as the formula that I shared with you, E plus R equals O. And we talked about how becoming more aware or mindful of the way that you respond to any situation you find yourself in will give you a better outcome. And in other words, the question to ask yourself is, are you at cause or are you at effect in your life? When I say effect, it's a symptom. So if you imagine, if you've got an illness, so we look at the symptoms rather than often the cause. If you look for the cause, you can address the cause and be proactive. And it's the same in your life, rather than dealing with the effect and living from that place and being the almost being a victim of your situation or your circumstance. You can be the master of that, of your destiny, and you get to influence that and lead a happier, more fulfilling life. Okay, so I want to share some slides with you, and bear with me here because last time I did this, I had some technical issues. Hopefully this will be better today. There we go. Okay, so let me just make that a bit bigger. Okay, so last time, as I said, we spoke about awareness. So that's 2 weeks ago. If you want to go back and look at that recording, it will be within my posts on LinkedIn. And today we're going to look at the second part of the framework. So bear with, let me just, right, okay, so awareness was last time. This time we're looking at B, which is beliefs. And when we talk about beliefs, I'm talking about the beliefs you have about yourself and about circumstances and situations around you. So again, asking yourself the question, what beliefs do you have about yourself? And this is an exercise I invite you to do after this session today, is to go out and take some time to ask yourself and write down, what are the beliefs that you have about yourself? And ask yourself, well, are these serving me? Are these helping me to move forward? Or in fact, are they holding me back? Because my belief is that the beliefs we hold are the biggest things that can hold us back from moving forward. They're the biggest obstacles that we create are from ourselves. So tuning in and recognizing the beliefs that we have and questioning, okay, are they serving us? Yes or no? Because if they're not, then what do we need to change around our beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about our circumstances, in order that we can create a better result for ourselves? So what beliefs do you hold about you, about others, about circumstances, and also about where you're at in your life, in your career? What beliefs do you hold about that? And when you write those down, then ask yourself, are these facts? Are they true? Or are they stories that you're telling yourself? And I don't mean to demean them because I'm saying the word stories, but what I mean by that is oftentimes something happens to us, we experience something, or a person says something to us, And without realizing it, we hold on to that and we create a belief from it. And it becomes a story that we tell ourselves. And what happens with that is the more we tell ourselves a story, the more it becomes a truth for us. And the way that the brain operates is the brain is always looking for evidence to support our beliefs, our stories that we tell ourselves. So if we feel, if we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, let's say we're not good enough at a particular sport, we're instilling that belief in us. So when we show up to perform that sport, we'll more than likely struggle. We'll get evidence to prove to ourselves that it's true, and it becomes a fact for us. But we have created that fact. So the fact has stemmed from a belief, and that's why it's important to go back, step back to understand what is the belief, or what are the beliefs that you're creating for yourself that are potentially holding you back, both in your career and in your life. So it's a really powerful exercise to do. So I invite you to create some time to do that, maybe this weekend. And think about the stories that you're creating. Are they preventing you, therefore, from being able to evolve, to change, to improve? Because you're saying, well, I can't do that. I'm not that kind of person. And this is the thing. I love to challenge myself with these small things and say, okay, well, what can I do differently this time? You know, I've always said I'm not a morning person. I'll get up early when I absolutely have to. But when I've got that choice, I won't, and I want to create a habit from it. So I'm slowly shifting that behavior. The alternative is I could continue for the rest of my life to say I'm not a morning person, but I want to become that person who actually, it's not about being a morning person. It's just about being able to get up a lot earlier and get more done at the early hours of the day. But the story I had been telling myself was I'm not a morning person. So I'm changing that narrative for myself and now putting in new little habits to help me to shift that. And that's what I mean about challenging ourselves. It doesn't have to be huge things. It can be the small things as well, because all those things make a difference. So another thing to think about when it comes to your beliefs are your values. So your values in terms of your non-negotiables. What are your core values about your life? Now, these can be both. You can have values that tend to focus more on your career and values that focus more on your personal life, but typically they will tend to overlap, is what I would say, because I've been asked this question a number of times. And I would say that when you take time to stop and really ask yourself, what are your non-negotiable values? What are really, really important for you that you are not prepared to move on? That will help you in your decision making. It will help you in moving forward and doing the right thing by yourself. So being in integrity with yourself. So again, something I invite you to do is to take time to really explore your own values. And this will help to align you with your beliefs that will serve you better going forward. And just to give you an example, some of the my non-negotiables, my biggest core beliefs, which again overlap both the way that I show up both in my personal life and in my professional life, are authenticity. So showing up as my true self. So what you see is what you get. Growth. So for me, growth is very important. It's also about learning and developing, challenging myself. Leadership is another one. So leadership is about how I go about doing things, both for myself in my own life, but also in my business, for my clients, being seen as a leader for other people. So being able to influence and inspire. Those are three of my core values. And in addition, excellence. So excellence for me is ensuring excellence it goes through everything that I do, whether again it's in my personal life or in my business. So take some time to really evaluate your own personal values, because this will help you in having that clarity on who you are and what you want to be known for. And then self-belief. This is a huge one because a lot of people talk about the lack of self-belief, the lack of confidence, and not necessarily exploring where that is coming from. And again, it can be coming from maybe that small comment that a teacher said to you way back when you were at school, and it's subconsciously stayed with you and held you back without you even realizing it. And I've had clients like that where Through coaching, they then come to remember a situation where a teacher has said something to them, and without realizing, they've carried that with them, and it's directly influenced their decisions as an adult, and it's held them back. So you really want to look at those beliefs that you've got and explore them. And here's an exercise for you to do as well, is to journal. So journaling daily, journaling your wins, your successes, what went well, what you're proud of. And these don't have to be huge things. These can be the smallest thing. It could be something as simple as smiling at a stranger on the train and them smiling back, because you don't know, you could have made their day because maybe no one else has interacted with them. And that could be a small win for you, or someone smiling at you and saying hello and asking you how you are. It's all about perception of what is important as a win for you, but they don't have to be huge wins. It doesn't have to be the lottery. It doesn't have to be you've suddenly got a promotion. It could be the smallest one. It could be a little bit of a recognition or a pat on the back for a piece of work that you've carried out. So start to reflect on these and to journal on them, because by journaling on them, and what I mean by journaling is using pen and paper, not typing them, because there is scientific evidence that shows that when we write, when we use a pen and paper to write, it triggers something in the brain that helps us to retain that information much more powerfully than if we're typing it. So do write it to grab yourself a notebook to journal in. And by stopping and reflecting daily or weekly on all of those little and big wins, it will reinforce to you the positives of how good you really are. And the reason I say that is because oftentimes our natural behavior is to focus on the negative of what went wrong. I've done it. We've all done it. I'll give you an example. A few years ago when I spoke at an event, and there was 50 to 70 people in the room, and most of the people gave me great positive feedback. And I had one or two words of criticism, but what did I choose to focus on? The one or two words of criticism, not the 50 or 60 people who loved everything I had spoken about. So we naturally go then, it's about that self-awareness to reel it back in and focus on the good stuff, right? Focus on the positives, the wins. And this is where writing it down and journaling about it will help to instill it even further for you. And I'd just like to share this with you. This is a quote from Brian Tracy, and he says, this is a really powerful quote, by the way, I love it. It says, when you develop yourself to the point where your belief in yourself is so strong that you know you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, your future will be unlimited. So think about that. It's an amazing place to be. Okay, so that is my share for today, and I hope that has been helpful for you. As I said, do let me know if you have any questions, any comments. Do pop them in the box, and I will come back to them now if you pop them in now, or if you're looking on replay, then pop them in. I will come back. Just tag me into your questions. Carl Brooks, hello. Great to have you join. Thank you. Amazing presentation, so on point and resonates with me fully. Fabulous. I look forward to our conversation tomorrow. So any questions on this, as I said, do let me know. If you'd rather direct message me on it, feel free to do so as well. Again, the topic for these three sessions, these three episodes, so the one which was a couple of weeks ago, because I didn't deliver a live last week, today's session and next week are all about being able to influence your situation, your life, rather than feeling that everything is out of control, which a lot of people have experienced over the last couple of years with the pandemic and all the uncertainty, excuse me, all the uncertainty that we're experiencing has made it quite difficult. So focus on what you can influence is my message to you today. And firstly, self-awareness. Do check out my live from a couple of weeks ago if you want to get more information on that and what you can do. And then today's is about your beliefs and bringing your beliefs to a conscious level, to become more aware of it and actually really being honest and objective with yourself, saying, are these beliefs really serving me? Are they really true? What is the evidence I've got to support it? And actually contrast that. So if you say, well, I'm not good enough, but then you start to journal on your small wins and you start to see all these great things that you're accomplishing, are you really not good enough? So you want to be bold enough and brave enough and courageous enough to challenge yourself on that. So let me know, as I said, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. And next week, we will look at the third part of this framework. Before I go, I'd like to remind you and invite you to check out my YouTube channel. It's newly launched this week. I'm also streaming this live onto the YouTube channel today for the first time. So do go ahead and subscribe so more people will get to see it. And also you will get updates as and when we get new content published on there. All of my podcasts over the last 12 months, I think we have about 40 episodes now, will be on there as in the video format. So you may have seen the audio format over the last 12 months as being promoted. The video format of all of those interviews are now going up on YouTube, so you can access those there. There is also extracts of some of these lives with some of the key pertinent points that you can check in on and get some more content information that will help you to elevate your career. There's a personal branding 101 series as well, and lots more video content for you to check out. So do head over and subscribe to the channel. The link is in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier as well, if you haven't got your copy of the Personal Brand Playbook, then do click on the link in the comments and grab your copy today. So until next time, thank you for joining me today. And remember to build your influence, to make an impact and be remembered for the right reasons by showing up as the best version of you. Have an amazing rest of the week and weekend, and I shall see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, take care.